in this me. It goes on and on and on, because I'm sure you guys have touched people because of what Ray has passed on to you. So that must be a really good feeling, really good feeling. But I just want to say thank you, and I love you, and happy birthday. And we're going to do a couple numbers that we did back when we had the band. We picked out two that we thought you might enjoy. The first one's a medley of Embraceable You, and It Had to Be You. Embrace me, my sweet embraceable you. Embrace me, you irreplaceable you. Just one look at you, my heart grew tipsy in me. You and you alone bring out the gypsy in me. I love all the many charms about you. Above all, I want my arms about you. Don't be a naughty baby, come to mama do. My sweet embraceable you. It had to be you. It had to be you. I wandered around and finally found the somebody who could make me be true, could make me be blue, and even be glad just to be sad thinking of you. Some others I've seen might never be mean, might never be cross or try to be boss, but they wouldn't do for nobody else. Gave me a thrill with all your faults, so I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. It had to be you. So don't be a naughty baby, come to mama do. My sweet embraceable you. It had to be you. The next one we'd like to do is a little something called After You've Gone. After you've gone and left me crying, after you've gone, there's no denying you'll feel blue, you'll feel sad, you'll miss the best gal that you ever had. kinds of weather. Someday, blue and downhearted, after you're gone, and you will want me where we started. After we've gone away.
Folks, before Bernie starts to sing, there's some awfully lonely ladies back here at the refreshments, and they want to see some of you folks come back. You can go back there and just help yourself, bring it back here and enjoy it. I also want to point out that right up here, these are 3 guitars that Ray made, of the many that he made. My family's a proud owner of one. Ray, Tommy Forney owns one in the middle, and I don't know who owns the one in the left with the classic, Miss Smith, okay. That's wonderful to have these. And I'm sure sometime during the day you want to come up and look these over. Some of the finest workmanship you'll ever see in guitar making.
I know some of y'all out there, I see you. They're friends of mine. I met Ray Ledford about 31 years ago. He's really affected my life in music. If you love music, you know that that's the way he is. He affects your life in music. He makes you want to love it. And I sing a lot of gospel music, basically. He told me at one time that this particular song here was one of his favorites. And I'm going to dedicate this to him, and it's called Until Then.
My heart can sing when I pause to remember that a heartache is, well, it's just us
I'll tell you. This next song is called My Heavenly Father. I trust in God wherever I may be, up on the land or on the rolling sea. But come what may, from day to day, well, my heavenly Father watches over me. I trust in God. I know He cares for me. On mountain peaks or on the stormy sea, though billows roll, He keeps my soul. Well, my heavenly Father watches over me. He makes the roads an object of His care. Well, He guides the eagle through the pathless air, and surely He remembers me. Well, my heavenly Father watches over me. I trust in God. I know He cares for me. On mountain peaks or on the stormy sea, though billows roll, He keeps my soul. My heavenly Father watches over me.
Frank, you wanna do something? At your beck and call. Okay, what you gotta do. Whatever. I don't know anything is worse than trying to fill something without a warm-up. I want to say this, though. There's one person in this room that I've known longer than one person in this room that I've known longer than Ray, and that's Patty Osmond. She and Ray were classmates back in high school. First grade, well, in high school is when I met you. And Patty started singing with my band in the 1940s when she was about 15 or 16 years old. And she was wonderful then, she's wonderful now. But then I met Ray, and he and I have been together off and on for, I'm not going to say how many years, but after Patty anyway. At any rate, it's a pleasure to be here today, and I don't know what will come out of this horn without warming up, but we'll try it. I don't even know what we're going to play, right?
Green eye, Indiana. Green eye. Green eye star. Is that Cedric? No, on the right. There it is.
Go, Pete.
You want to do Indiana? Yeah. That good? Okay, fine. You got it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Next time, get me in a private room, let me warm up a little bit.
You done good.
That was good.
Folks, another round of applause here for Frank Love and Ray Ledford. All right. I'll tell you, you're in for a treat. We're gonna hear all kinds of music today. In just a little bit, we're gonna give Ray and the guys a break. Got a little buddy here from South Carolina, and he just does his little thing with the guitar, and I know you're gonna enjoy what he does. We're gonna bring him up in a few minutes, but right now, we want to introduce Miss Martha Fortenberry. And Martha's about as well known as Ray and Frank Love in this area. Patty Oliver, everybody knows these folks. But give Martha a big hand.
It's a joy and an honor to be here this afternoon. So good to see everybody. You know, I think one thing we need to do is sing to this young man up here. Will you give us a G chord? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ray. Happy birthday to you. What a joy and an honor it is to get to sing with Ray Ledford. He's the best. Many years ago, Ray had me to fill in for his regular vocalist. What a joy that was for me. I was in high school, and how it thrilled me. I've always loved the Ledford family. They're very special to our family. Ray is a special, special person and a wonderful musician. Ray, I love you. Thank you for the years. And when we go out now to do our little programs, I call them, it's Martha and the boys. So they are my sweet little boys. You know nobody till somebody loves you. You're nobody till somebody cares. You may be king, you may possess the world and its gold, but no one bring you happiness when you're growing old. The world still is the same, you'll never change it. As sure as the stars shine above, you're nobody till somebody loves you. So find yourself somebody to love. Isn't that beautiful? The world still is the same, you'll never change it. As sure as the stars shine above, you're nobody till somebody loves you. So find yourself somebody to love. Find yourself somebody to love. All right. You like that, Ray? See, let me. I want to ask you, are any of you men in the doghouse? Anybody?
Constantly.
Have you been in the doghouse? Or you are now, constantly? All right, this is for all of you. Won't you come home, Bill Bailey? Won't you come home? She moans the whole day long. I'll do your cooking, honey. I'll pay your rent. I know I don't know I'm to blame, honey. Ain't that a shame? Bill Bailey, won't you please come home? Remember that rainy evening I threw you out with nothing but a fine tooth comb? Well, I know I'm to blame, honey. Ain't that a shame? Bill Bailey, won't you please come? Bill Bailey, won't you please come? Bill Bailey, won't you please come home? All right.
I thought I recognized you.
Now I'd like to ask Mr. Kevin Dedman if he would come up. We're gonna try to do a couple songs for you. We're gonna try. Yeah.
Well, we can, I guess, I'll play a fiddle tune for you. We're to do all types of music today, so it's a wonderful day. Happy birthday, Mr. Ledford, and this is a wonderful occasion to be able to even be up here with such talented musicians as y'all, and it's just a real honor for me to be here, and congratulations on your birthday, and thank y'all very much for letting me participate. So I'll play one of my favorite fiddle tunes, Orange Blossom Special.
Oh boy, I tell you, I like a fiddle better than I do a violin. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, one of Ray's schoolmates, classmates, brought me a list here. And before Shirley Womack is going to do another number for us, I'd like to go ahead and take care of this matter. This is the folks in Ray's class at Piedmont School. She has the girls listed, the boys listed, and those who are deceased. If you're here and I call your name, would you please stand and remain standing until the list is read? This is the girls who were in Ray's class at school. Doris Spangler, Josephine Towery, and there's a name here that I absolutely can't, Sarah
Bobs. She's a Davis.
Sarah Davis. Good read your writing, Marilyn. Vera Russ, Blanche Smith, Melba Poole, see Melba in the back, Desi Brackett, my neighbor growing up in Longdale, and Liv Lattimore. Just remain standing if you would. And the boys, I know Marvin's here, I saw him, Marvin Grigg, and of course, Ray Ledford.
Hey,
Paul Pace.
hey, hey.
Well, Patty.
Yeah,
How could we forget Patty?
no, never forget Patty.
Now, Patty, I didn't forget you. You're not on the list.
Yes, I am.
Nah. Okay. Don Metcalf, I saw Don here. Okay. Robert Spangler. Robert's children were involved in an unfortunate accident yesterday, and I'm sure they're in Charlotte at the hospital. J.B. Tony. J.B. lives in Maryland. Todd Sissom. Todd's another Double Shoals gentleman. He's not here. Bill Cobb. Yeah, y'all may be seated, please. And I'd like to read the names of those who have deceased in that class. And if I read a name of a husband or wife or brother or sister or relative, would you please stand? Tommy Mooney. Frank Klein. Harold Sperling. Flay Cook. So Catherine is here. Otis Peeler. John Self. Cecil Buff. Anna Towery. Marjorie Bridges. Shirley Lee. And Lois Gardner. Okay, thank you. That was a big class. Yeah, that's amazing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome again Miss Shirley Womack?
Oh, you don't have to. Thank you anyway. Here sits celebrating his 80th birthday, one of my longest, dearest friends. Our oldest daughter was 8 years old when I met him. So Johnny, I've known him longer than you. She's now a 56-year-old professional. She's in the medical world. And our youngest daughter was 3 years younger than she. So I have known Ray 48 years. And I am first to admit to any of you that I am no authority on anything, and certainly not music. But I do know this. There sits one of the most accomplished musicians I have ever known. And I particularly like opera and all forms of classics. And this man can do anything and everything that's expected of him. I feel most honored that he invited me to play in his band, thanks to Charlie Hopper. Remember Charlie Hopper, Ray? My husband and I were at a celebration over at Racket Cedar Park many, many years ago. And Charlie Hopper, I was the pianist at the church where he was the minister of music. And he went running up to my husband and said, "Does Shirley play anything besides hymns?" And loudmouth that he is, said she plays anything from folk music to classics. And Charlie went running to find Ray and asked him, would he allow me to sit in the band with him for 2 or 3 selections. And I am so honored that he agreed, because Tennessee Waltz, I Can't Stop Loving You, and Last Date, I believe, were the 3 selections we played together. Is that right, Ray? Something like that. Well, it's been 100 years ago, don't you know? And so, I'm hoping that Ray will live another, as many more years as God will allow. And I'd like to be a part of always knowing about his comings and goings, because he certainly has been a dear friend. As a result of this man, my family and I have lived in Shelby 35 years. Thanks to Frank Klein, seeing that a house was for sale on East Marion Street. We were going over to the North Lake, I remember that, snowing and everything. And I saw this house on East Marion Street. And Frank and the boys had been, I call them boys then because we were a whole lot younger than now.
Would you make welcome all the way from Greenville, South Carolina, Mr. Jerry Klossner.
Thank you, Steve. What a joy and honor it is to be here today, and on this special occasion of Ray's birthday. You know, Ray and I were probably a mile and no, I'm close. I'm gaining every day. But we probably didn't live over a couple miles apart. But I really didn't know Ray. I knew his bear dogs, or his daddy's bear dogs, because he used to walk by the house there, and I was scared to death of those dogs. But anyway, I got to know Ray in the Piedmont alumni. Jane Cook invited me to come and be a part of that special organization, and it's the best day of my life whenever she invited me to come. It's just the greatest people that I've ever worked with in my life, the home folks of home. And I was talking with Carolyn about it a little earlier, and she said I could do it every Saturday night, and I could too. I just love it to death.
Don't get us a bus.
But anyway, I'm going to do a song for you that was written by a North Carolina boy. All I know is he come from the other side of Morganton, North Carolina. He said he's from Burke County, and he lived on the other side of Morganton, North Carolina. His name is Michael Reno Harold. And this song that he wrote is about the South, and it's called Southern Suggestions. And I told him in the Piedmont alumni, Jane had chosen as her theme for that year, Are You From Dixie? And I told him when I did this song, I said, if you can recognize about half the things that's in this song, then you're from Dixie. And if you recognize all of them, then you might just be a redneck. It's a great song. I hope you enjoy it. It's mustard on hot dogs and ketchup on French fried potatoes, and gravy on biscuits and cornmeal on fried green tomatoes. If you're cooking a pig, you need to start about 3 in the morning. If you go to the beach, pay attention to hurricane warnings. You don't order grits, they just come anytime you six. And clear fingernail polish when chiggers get a hold of your legs. Don't drink the moonshine unless you know where it was made. And never stand in sun anytime you can sit in the shade. These aren't rules, it's just some things we figured out to make living easy when you're living here in the South. Honeysuckle tastes sweet when you suck the back end of a blossom. And catfish tastes great, but I don't know a sold witch possum. If you're plowing a garden, a little Ford tractor will do. I would get you a John Deere if you got more than an acre or two. Now an old tractor tire, painted white, placed in the yard, makes quite a stunning planter, but don't use a tire from a car. See a car tire you tie to a rope and you hang from a tree, and the back of the juice works like a champ when you're stung by a bee. These aren't rules, it's just some things we figured out to make living easy when you're living here in the South. Y'all is plural if it's one. You just say you. It's all right to be Catholic or Mormon or Hindu or Jew. See, the Baptists don't own the South, they just use the name. And iced tea ain't for breakfast and all barbecue ain't the same. Try to eat lunch where the waitresses all call you honey. And maybe one of these days you'll think John Boy and Billy are funny. The fact that people make money, bass fishing's amazing. some things we figured out to make living easy when you're living here in the South. Now ain't living easy when you're living here in the South. Did you recognize any of that? Okay. Okay. Seems like all the songs that I choose are long songs, and it's harder and harder for me to remember the words. So I have to cheat a little bit.
It's okay.
This is an old song that was done by Tex Ritter. It is old, isn't it? It was a big hit for him. What was it, Steve? Back in about the 40s that this was popular? No, this one I'm going to do is Smoke That Cigarette.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Marr did that too.
I'm in the wrong gear here. Wait a minute.
Light up today.
Do y'all remember that?
Yes.
Smoke a cigarette? Okay. I hope I do. Now I'm a fella with a heart of gold, with the ways of a gentleman, I've been told. Kind of fella that wouldn't even harm a flea. But if me and a certain character met the guy that invented the cigarette, I'd murder that son of a gun in the first degree. Of course, it ain't that I don't smoke myself, and I don't reckon they hinder your health. I've smoked them all my life. I ain't dead yet. But nicotine slaves are all the same at a petting party or a poker game. Everything's got to stop while they smoke a cigarette. Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, 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 and if you puff yourself to death, tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hate to make him wait, but you got to have another cigarette. In a game of chance the other night, old Dame Fortune was doing me right. Kings and queens just kept on coming around. I got a full and I bet it high, but my buck wouldn't work on a certain guy. He just kept on raising, laying the money down. He'd raise me and I'd raise him. I sweated blood, you gotta sink or swim. He finally called, couldn't raise a bet. I said, Ace is full, pal, how about you? He said, I'll tell you in a minute or two, but right now I got to have myself a cigarette. Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, 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 and if you puff yourself to death, tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hate to make him wait, but you got to have another cigarette. The other night I had me a date with the cutest little gal in all 50 states. One of them hybrid, uptown, fancy little dames. She said she loved me, and it seemed to me that everything is going like it ought to be, and hand in hand we strolled down Lover's Lane. She was oh so far from a chunk of ice, and the smooching party was going real nice, so help me Hannah, think I'd have been there yet. I gave her a kiss and a little squeeze. She said, Jerry, excuse me please, I got to have another cigarette. Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, 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 and if you puff yourself to death, tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hate to make him wait, but you got to have another cigarette. You got to have another cigarette.
I said, take a break. They took it literally, didn't they? They broke. Well, we have next Miss Patty Osborne and Doris Dedman to sing, but we don't have any musicians right now. And Mr. Jerry, would you want to accompany me on the guitar and maybe Mike on the fiddle? I want to tell you a little story, though, really, about while we're waiting on folks to get here. Patty grew up in Lawndale, and I was one of that little old, my wife called us lint heads. I grew up in the mill village, and, you know, we had a lint in our hair, and they were clodbusters that live out in the country, that's what we called them. But anyway, Patty was quite a celebrity when I was a little boy. I mean, I look older than Patty, but no, there's a couple of years difference. But anyway, when word would get around us little kids that Patty was out in her yard sunbathing, now they had a row of hedges like around Fort Knox around their house. And we'd part them hedges and spy on Patty as she's sunbathing. I mean, you know, just things kids do, Patty. I've told you this before. But that was a highlight of our little lives. I mean, we thought we'd died and gone to Atlantic City after seeing Patty in a bathing suit. You know, that was really something. But then she left, and then I heard she had married Robert E. Lee, and I thought, my Lord, how old is that woman? The only Robert E. Lee I knew was a general of the Confederate Army. But obviously, there's little things that we can say to Patty because she's such a good sport. Okay.
I just want to tell you one thing about being married to Robert E. Lee. When I meet people for the first time, I say, my name is very easy to remember because I was married to Robert E. Lee for 55 years. And my first name is Patty, that rhymes with Betty.
Okay, I was going to say that. But anyway, we've had great fun. And I'm sure most of you are aware that in 1948, Patty gets so tired of hearing me say this. 1948, she was the first Miss North Carolina.
I was not the first.
She was not the first Miss North Carolina. She was Miss North Carolina in 1948. Okay. From Lawndale, North Carolina. Isn't that right? Yeah. Of course, there's never been another from Lawndale. We've not even had a close second from Lawndale. And that's something to think about. Martha, is Ray and Dan about ready? Okay. I would appreciate that. We've got a lot of singers here. We've got Jerry Pearson going to sing a couple songs for us. We've got, of course, Doris and Patty going to be coming up next, and they're going to do their what is it, Carolina in the Morning?
Carolina Moon.
Carolina Moon. Okay, an old standard here, Carolina Moon. Who else do I recognize out there that sings? Jake, you going to sing anything for us today? Jake's not going to. Jake has laryngitis, so he won't be singing today. Who? Yeah, Jerry Pearson. Yeah, Jerry's here to sing. Maybe some of you other folks, I don't really recognize your face. If you want to sing, please feel free. Come on up. Put your name on this list, and this may be your big break. Then we got Tommy and Mike Forney going to do a duet for us here coming up. So we got a lot to look forward to. Ladies, if you want to come on up, I believe they're about ready. Doris says she's not ready. Folks, would you welcome Doris and Patty? If you're old enough, you probably heard them sing this on the radio back in the
flood.
Right after the flood. Yeah.
Which flood?
The one that they built the ark for. But I think I can speak for all of us here, what a privilege it is to be a part of telling Ray how much we love him and how much he's meant to us. And I think you probably feel exactly the way that I do. Take it up? Oh, you were talking to him, not me. Well, I can speak louder. But Ray is the most talented musician I think I have ever known anywhere, and the most modest and humble and lovable people I have ever known. So to me, it's a real privilege and honor to know him and love him. Yeah, we gonna do Carolina Moon if I remember.
We're gonna try. I knew this about 15 minutes ago. She's hunting words. I'm trying to find words.
I got old age rot memory, so I can't remember stuff.
Shining bright in Carolina, the night we said goodbye.